Welcome to the straight up, no bullshit, the Don Handston Show. Our hosts are going to push the limits, but create an environment where it's safe to uncover the crap that holds you back so you can survive the mediocrity of today's life. And they'll be admitting and revealing their own experiences so you can learn the skills and attitude you need to be who you are. No bullshit. Warning to all listeners: if you have thin skin and get offended easily by harsh, direct, or somewhat offensive content and language, then this podcast may be overwhelming. However, we believe pulling your blinders off and viewing things from a real perspective may feel invigorating and may be the very thing that may cause you to expand your capabilities exponentially. Now here's your host.
Welcome to the Don Handston Show today with me and Sal. And what we're going to talk about today is bringing sanity and wealth back here to America. Sal, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. A lot better than last week. How you feeling, buddy?
Yeah. I think we got sprayed again with that Corona shit. I know you didn't have it, but I think that's what I had.
That's what it sounded like when I was talking to you.
You know, but it is what it is. You know what? It's like the 8th time I got it. I got a stronger immunity system than probably Superman. So I'm good. I'm good to go.
Okay, buddy, that'll work.
Yeah.
So what do we got today?
So, yeah, there's so many topics that's going on right now that it's kind of tough to know where exactly to start. But, you know, we were looking at something about the finality of the current regime that's running our country right now, and the things that they're trying to do to really soil everything that they can before they exit, to try and make it as difficult for the next administration, to try to really just taint things as much as they possibly can, which, you know, I know people probably don't believe that, but if you look at the track record, what they've done for 3 5/8 of the years that they've been in, you can only imagine now that they're going out. They're going to do everything. They're going to pardon everyone. They're going to get rid of the pieces of the wall. They're going to do everything they can. That's not only going to screw up the guys that are coming in, which I think is a dream team, but what's really going to happen is it's going to cost us, the taxpayers, more money to fix up more shit that these people fucked up. And it, you know, it's like, these people need to be held accountable.
Yeah, I just don't know if they will be held accountable, or if they can be. And I like what you brought up. That's right, because Biden has put up all the extra equipment and pieces of the wall that Trump was building 4 years ago. He put it up for sale on a government website for $5 each piece. So he's really trying to just screw them over completely. So anybody can go on the website and buy a huge piece of steel, which is worth a lot more money than $5. So you could buy the pieces. So he's hoping to get rid of all that stuff. And what's going to happen is when Trump gets in 38 days, 37 days,
we got to rebuy it.
They're going to have to rebuy it. And who's going to pay for all that? The taxpayers. You know, we're going to have to pay because Biden's selling it all for $5, which has been sitting there for 4 years, just sitting there. Well, now he's getting rid of it. So that's exactly what's happening.
It's blatant. So not only is it, you know, we're going to get rid of it, right? But we're going to get rid of it in the last month that we're here. Mm-hmm. And we're going to get rid of it not because we got to clean the place up, because we want it to be harder, because then they have to make more and it's going to cost more money. Well, I don't understand how that costs us money. Why don't we get that money back from the money that these idiots stole from us through Ukraine, all that bullshit money that they got back, that we got, that they put back into Biden's pockets? We should sell their house, and we should fucking buy the
You mean Biden's 4 mansions that he has?
Yeah, sell all that shit. Fire sale. $5 a mansion. How about that one? Yeah.
Well, I think there's a senator or a congressman or someone in Texas that is trying to buy all the pieces, and then he said he's going to give it all back to Trump. So I don't know. I mean, $5 a piece, that ain't a lot of money for all those pieces, but that's what they said. And another thing that Biden's doing is, this came from James Comey. He said that Biden has told all the government employees, don't even bother coming into work, just work from home. You don't have to come and just do your job from home. So he's really getting laxed and making everything really tough for Trump to come back in, because those people are going to be told to get back in the office, I'm pretty sure.
Well, absolutely. And I think what's going to happen, is these people are all going to be looking for new jobs. Okay, there's going to be a lot of unemployed, um, government ex-government employees. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that they know that. So I think, and a lot of them have already bounced out of their jobs, right? Resigned, whatever they do to get out of the job because they don't want to face charges, they don't want to face scrutiny, they don't want to face going to court, they don't want to face fines, they don't want to face any of the repercussions of the things that they've done. So a lot of them have already exited, and uh, from what I see, all that I've read, it looks as though most of those governmental departments, I think most of them are pretty shady. They don't belong there. There's overreach, there's theft, there's so much going on in these things that I think that they know they're going to get disbanded, but they're not going to want to have to pay the piper for this stuff. So I think a lot of them are dropping out, and I think a lot of those are not only going to get dismantled, I think a lot of those are going to go away with that Department of Government Efficiency, that Doji.
Doge, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be Ramaswamy and
Musk.
and Musk.
Yeah.
I think who's going to outsmart those guys? Those guys are absolutely brilliant. Okay, and so like I think I read, and maybe I'm wrong, but I think I read like 80% of the governmental whatever you call them, subsidiaries, the FDA and
Oh, yeah, all their departments.
all those departments, there's
Yeah.
80% of them are going to go away.
Yeah, there's so many of them. I've never even heard of them before.
Well, if you remember when they were trying to pump up the unemployment, they were trying to show that there was more employment there than there actually was to make themselves look better.
Yeah.
If you remember, I think it was maybe a year, maybe 2 years ago. I don't know the amount of time it was, and I don't even know the exact number. But I want to say it was like they had like another 850,000 employees. Okay, but those employees were actually governmental people. Okay, so instead of it helping our economy, it was a deficit to our economy. But it was just a riddle on the numbers to show, hey, look, there's this many more people working, not stating the fact that we have to pay for all these people. They're not actually adding to our economy. They're taking away from our economy. So I think that a lot of the funny part about truth is or lies or deception or whatever it is it all lies within the details. Okay, so you could tell the truth on 90% of the stuff, and 10% could be bullshit that completely reverses what the 90% said. Okay, and that's how they hide all of this stuff. They'll tell you stuff that's real, but they won't tell you the hidden recipe to that chocolate chip cookie. Okay, they don't tell you what actually it was. Okay, they don't say, hey, you know what, instead of increasing our growth of our economy by X amount of dollars, they don't say, hey, you know what, it's going to cost us this much more money. Okay, because then it would debunk the fact that they have more employees. So it's kind of interesting how everything's twisted and turned and reversed. And that's what we've all seen in the last 4 years is everything that everyone's saying that somebody else is doing, they're doing. Okay, one finger pointing forward, three right back at you. It's it kind of reminds me of a lot of these simple sayings that we've grown accustomed to growing up, and it's really deception.
They have a lot of office space that they're paying for that no one's been using for the last few years. So that's all our money just going to waste. And really, what are these employees doing? They're sitting at home all day. I mean, are they really contributing? All these roles, all these people that are being paid by the government, they're not doing anything constructive. And now they've been told, no, don't worry about it. Just stay home, work from home. He's really trying to make a mess before Trump comes in.
And I'm going to switch gears here too. So I've been watching some video. I've been reading some stuff, and I'm not really big into the celebrity bullshit, but the thing with this P. Diddy thing, what's really interesting is I think it really ties into this mass migration of all these illegal immigrants with all these missing people, all these missing children. Okay, and I think that what the thing with the P. Diddy thing is the people that are listed in that, probably, I don't know what documents they have, black book, whatever it is. I think it's very similar people to the people that were involved with the Jeffrey Epstein. Okay. And I think, and I believe, not only is it Hollywood elites and entertainers, okay, but there's a lot of high level officials that are involved in all of this stuff. Okay. So what's really funny is like, now that this is opening up, okay, and stories are getting on social media, and there's actually people with knowledge that can explain a lot of this stuff, where before it would have been suppressed or these people would disappear or whatever. It's really interesting because you kind of see how it's all tied together. You really understand why these guys are protected, why these people don't go to jail, why these people can get away with whatever they want, why these people have so much money. Like, you know, you got to look at some of these entertainers who got so much more money than they possibly could have earned, and it's because they didn't earn it. Okay, it's because they're supplying something for the greater wealth of others. Okay, and I think a lot of it has to do with human trafficking. I think a lot of these missing children and drugs. Okay, it's all one thing. Okay. And it turns out, sure enough, yeah, they're drugging all these people, and that's how they're getting a lot of these. And I've always thought this, because these people, you always wondered, how is everybody so damn crooked? Okay, how is everybody so manipulated, right? And I talked to a woman years ago that was a pretty high level official in California, and she was telling me, she said, you know, I had some really good friends, and they told me that when these politicians, they have these parties in their homes, okay? She says, don't go to those. And if you do go to those, don't ever go upstairs, but really, you really shouldn't even go to these things. And she said, and here's why. Because you'd be there for a nice dinner or a drink. Next thing you know, you wake up on the floor in a bedroom in this mansion, holding pictures of you with children. And they say, now we got you. Okay. Now you're on our payroll. You got to do what we want you to do. And so it was funny. I was just listening 2 days ago to somebody that protects high level people. And he was talking about, he was at some P. Diddy parties, and he was talking about how they were doing whatever they could to try and get his guests, poisoned, drugged, whatever you want to call it. And, the getting the champagne bottles the corks were already off, and he'd be sending them back and all this. He was talking about all this stuff, but it was in very great detail. So the guy wasn't full of shit. And he was actually a guy from Chicago. And anyways, the moral to the story is, you wonder how they get all these people on the same payroll. And I think that they get them all on the same payroll is through blackmail, right? Blackmail. So they say, okay, well, you got pictures of you with the children. You've never molested a child in your life, but they have proof that you did. So you're screwed, okay? And I think that's happened. And I think a lot of it has to do with the same thing in politics. It's in politics. I think it's in entertainment. I think it's whoever they want to have over the barrel, right? What's interesting is, I look at somebody, and I don't want to put names out, but think of the most well-known entertainers that that have more money than you could imagine. Why do they have so much money? Okay, they had to have been compromised. Okay, because they have a big voice, right? Because the media, that really nobody watches CNN. Nobody's really getting their information from that.
And
they
the
might
ratings
get their
are down.
information.
Yeah.
They might get their information from somebody like a Taylor Swift or somebody like that, right? So when you manipulate somebody like that, and they have billions of fans, right? You have a media mega that can put out whatever it is that you want. So it makes me think that all of these people that have this huge money are truly the compromised people.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that's going to come to fruition when Cash Patel gets in, because an interview with him I seen, he says all those names are held in a book, and he wants to release all that. So I guess it's going to start coming out next month, and we'll see. And that's why you have a lot of the actors and actresses taking off, and names keep coming up.
Yeah, I
Like,
wonder why they don't want to be here during a Trump.
well, that's what Ellen said, but I don't believe that's why she left, because she's in that list with Diddy as well.
Absolutely.
You know, she was good friends with. Even I just found out yesterday that on her show she had a DJ, Twitch, I guess was his name, and I guess because of all this that's going on, he killed himself. So I didn't know that. I mean, I know who the guy is. I think I have the name right. He's the DJ for her show, which was pretty popular, and he got all messed up into this stuff too, and he took his own life because of this. I mean, you got J-Lo that's implicated into this. You got Oprah, Leonardo DiCaprio. I mean, those are just names that are coming out now. And
Jamie
then
Foxx. There's so many.
yeah, and two guys just came out and said that they're going after Diddy too, because they said that they were forced to do sexual things with him, that they were drugged at one of his parties. Two men. I don't know who they were, but it'll come out, I hope. Hopefully the corruption will start to come out.
But here's my question to you. If Biden, okay, can just get rid of the wall that's been built that needs to just be put up, okay?
Yeah.
And they can do that legally. Why can't the guy, the FBI director, just those black books they must have got thrown out, right?
Yeah.
Like it'd be a lot harder to get rid of a wall that covers Mexico than a couple of black books, okay? So that's what makes me scratch my head. And the whole 9 yards, like there's so much manipulation. When I listened to the it was Joe Rogan and Trump, that 3-hour interview, okay?
Yeah.
It was really incredible, but I really realized that Trump was a little bit different than what I even thought. I always thought he was very ego driven, and maybe he used to be. He seemed very humble. He seemed like just a wonderful man, as far as I'm concerned. But he seemed tough as nails, which I like. And but he didn't take credit for that. Like he would say, this guy did a fabulous job. Like he gave everybody else credit but himself, which I admire that.
Yeah, me too.
But what I did find interesting was he was talking about. I think it was something with Iran, where Iran was gonna, had a hit on him or something like that. Okay.
Yeah, they did. That was the rumor a few months ago.
And they caught. Oh, I know what it was. And then one of the guys that was shooting them, they got like 6 phones from him, but Apple wouldn't open those phones. Okay. And I'm like, Apple wouldn't open those phones. Like those. The current administration wants a phone open. That thing's open in like 3 seconds. How is it not open for him? So it makes you like wonder, like who all is on the payroll for all of this shit? Like, is Apple? Like, it makes you scratch your head.
I don't know. I know Tim Cook from Apple went and had dinner with Trump this week in Mar-a-Lago, along with Zuckerberg. And Jeff Bezos too, the guy in charge of Amazon. They're all going there.
Well,
and Trump asked, I think he asked Zuckerberg. He says, "If I didn't win the election, would you be here right now wanting to have dinner with me?" And Zuckerberg said, "Yeah, probably not." So, I mean, they're all going to him now. They all want to, and Zuckerberg donated $1 million, and I think Bezos may have donated $1 million to some of his campaign stuff and charity. Trump.
That's like 3 pennies for me and you. $1 million for
those
guys. Yeah, here's 3 cents, Sal. Yeah. Good luck to you.
And Elon just became the first person in the world to be worth over $400 billion. The guy.
Just wait. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, he's going to make all this money. I don't care how much money this guy makes. If he makes this a better world, that's all I care about. You know what? There's been enough people that have raped, okay, this country for money.
Yeah.
If Elon Musk makes money because he did good business to help
Yeah.
its citizens, God bless him, make as much money as you want. But if you're making money because you're stealing it from us, then you're an asshole and you need to go to jail. So, at the end of the day, if you want to work your ass off and you want to be smart and you want to help other people and you make money doing that, I'm all about it. I want you to make as much money as you can. I wish you the best. I mean, if everyone that was good made a ton of money for their efforts, okay, this world would be a great place. If all these criminals were, instead of making money, just thrown in jail or gotten rid of, deport them, whatever they got to do, this world would be a great place, right? So it goes back to what we talked about, I don't know, 15 episodes ago. It's about rewarding the down stat. You can't do that. You got to reward the up stat. You got to reward people that are helping people. You got to reward people that are working hard. You got to reward people that are doing successful endeavors. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, realistically, that's what it boils down to is, if we reward the up stats, okay, there's going to be more than enough money for everyone to get better. And if you're providing a good or goods or services it's going to help other people, it's going to help them be successful. And so I think that's really the whole mantra behind the betterment theory is when you're doing things to make life better for others, okay, your life gets better and so do their lives, okay? But if you're doing stuff self-serving, you may think you're making your life better. Maybe your pocketbook's a little thicker, okay? Maybe you're a little bit more powerful, but nobody else is getting better. People are going down in order for people are going to fail, okay, in order to make your pocketbook thick. So really what happens, and that's what's been happening in the last, I don't know how many years, but the wealthy have become super wealthy, and the marginally wealthy have become not wealthy at all. So all the classes have shrunk. So a lot of the money has gone up, right, to the upper middle or upper class, and the middle class. There's really not a lot of just regular upper class anymore, and then the middle class is more like upper lower class. So like all the classes have failed in order to funnel the money up to these self-serving pricks, okay? Instead of being like, you know what, we're here to create a wonderful company that's going to provide wonderful service for people to make their lives better, and we're here to employ people and take care of our employees. No, that's not what it's like. And so what happens is all that money gets sifted to the top, okay? And there's no money in the middle. And so that's what's happened throughout civilizations, right? You got these where you got kings and then you got paupers, okay? And there's nothing in between. And so we need to get back to where the meat and potatoes is in the middle, right? The middle class is really, because that's what runs the economy is the middle class.
Well,
okay?
They got 2 years to try to pull this off because the midterms are coming. So, people are watching. People are paying attention now more than ever, I think. And you have a lot of Democrats and I think a lot of liberals. I'm not talking about the far left liberals. I'm talking about just regular liberals that are seeing Biden pardon all these people. I mean, and they're ticked off about it. There's been a lot of Democrats that have come out that he commuted 1,500 sentences and pardoned 39 more people. And you know what? With 30 some more days to go, I'm sure a lot more are coming. But a lot of the Democrats are ticked off. Like we were talking about earlier that there was that one guy, I think I have his name here, Shinlin Jin, who was arrested. He had 47,000 images on his computer of child pornography. And Biden commuted his sentence. He's free. And this guy was caught in 21. So a lot of the Dems are seeing this. And a lot of the Dems were ticked off that he kept going around saying that he wasn't going to pardon his son, and then he ended up doing it. Which, I don't mind he pardoned his son. I get that. But he came out and just lied over and over again. So I think a lot of the Democrats are starting to see what was going on here. And I think a lot of them got to see what was going on. A lot of the independents got to see what was going on, and that's why the election went the way it did. So they screwed themselves on that.
you talk about the the child pornography and all this bullshit. Okay, I think that that's really the thing that's going to put a lot of people over the edge. Okay, and
Yeah.
and so I think that like the liberal people, okay, they can overlook these guys stealing. They can overlook all these wars that are costing us a ton of money and destroying the countries and potentially creating world war. I mean, they can overlook this. Don't ask me how, but they can. Okay, but I think when this becomes unveiled, when this child pornography, when they realize that 500,000 children, 500,000, like if you started counting right now, you wouldn't be able to count to that for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Children, okay,
Yeah.
are missing.
Yeah.
Okay?
Unaccounted for.
When they
Yeah.
realize where these kids have gone and what these kids have done, okay, and who these kids have serviced, okay,
Yeah.
and probably died, okay, I think that that's going to be the thing that puts these liberals over the edge, because even these people that, in my opinion, I don't think there's a lot of common sense, that they don't feel as though children should be sacrificed for people just because they got money and just because they got power and just because they got fame. I think any human being, okay, it doesn't matter how smart, common sense, doesn't matter. That's going to put them over the edge. And I think when they realize that this Democratic Party and everybody that they've been watching on TV, and not only that, but all the people that are on the payroll, all the people with the media that have been suppressing all of this
Oh
information,
gosh, yeah.
and
Like
the
the
law
laptop.
enforcement agencies that have been suppressing this information and misguiding these accusations, right? Oh no, it never happened, or it just disappears, and the FBI, the police, and it just goes away. These things go away. There's nothing we can do. And so I think that it's going to be unexcusable. And when it is, I think that people are just gonna they're really gonna, I think they're gonna get a little smell of the smelling salt. They're
Well, I
gonna
think
say,
it's
hey,
already started, but yeah, there's going to be more so people
but
when
I
they
think
see.
that's going to be the thing that's going to put them over the edge, is that these children have been compromised and used and probably a lot of them have perished. And I think that's
Oh,
going to put so many
geez,
people
yeah.
over the edge.
Can you imagine where some of these kids are? You're talking
No.
500,000 kids that they don't know what happened to them. I mean, that's blood on Biden and Harris's hands. They opened these borders up and all these kids came in. I mean, I seen video clips. They're talking to 6-year-olds, 10-year-olds. They just have a note that they're holding of what their name is and everything and where they want to go. They have no parents with them. They're paying the coyotes to get these people across the border, thousands of dollars, and they're just handing their kids over to these coyotes. And these are not the best people around. So you can't even imagine what the coyotes are doing with the kids. Not physically what they're doing, but they could be selling them, trading them off, all while taking money from the parents to bring their kids to what the parents think is a land of opportunity. So you're right. You're talking over 500,000 kids. That's incredible. And then you got them pardoning this guy. They had all these images of child porn. Like, what the heck is going on? But hopefully people, like I said, are starting to wake up. And like you said, but here's the big topic I've been wanting to bring up with you.
Yeah,
This is like the hottest topic right now. What is up with all these drones? 6 states have now reported drones. New Jersey, New York, Connecticut. What is going on with that? What do you think they are?
I'll be honest with you. I mean, I didn't really read that much about the drones.
There's not much to really tell you. They're
Right.
up there every night, a bunch. They come every night, and if you try to track them, they said, with anything, they go dark. So I don't know. Just what do you think?
And are they over a certain area of the United States?
They're going over
Is it
Trump's
Philadelphia?
golf course. Yeah, they're going over military bases and stuff. And you got the White House. All the White House is doing is coming out and saying, we don't know what they are, but they're not harmful. Well, how do you know that if you don't know what they are? But they're downplaying it. Just like the balloon. They didn't shoot that down until it crossed over the complete United States. They shut it down when it went in the Atlantic, and it came from the Pacific. So, Biden and his crew let the whole Chinese balloon go over the United States with no repercussions. And now you got all these drones, and there's a ton of them. And they say that they're about the size of a small SUV, Don. That's how big they are. Those are not drones that you can go out and get at Micro Center or buy on Amazon. These are humongous drones.
Well, it's a subject that I could probably go into, but nobody listening to this would think it was credible anyway, so I wouldn't even go there. But I'll give you a taste of what's going through my head, and you're gonna debunk it anyway. It doesn't matter. I think what's gone on with this country, and this is gonna be even you, Sal. You're gonna be like, Don, you're out of your fucking mind. Totally cool. With the behavior of people, with what's gone on in the last 4 years, okay?
Yeah.
I believe that there's alternate beings, okay? And I believe that a lot of these people are not actual people. They're powered by an alternate being. I think that there's alternate beings. There always has been. And I think that that's probably what's going on. I think that there's a lot more. Why do you think that they've been suppressing, the extraterrestrials and the spaceships?
I know they've been doing that for a long time.
Okay, and it's because they've infiltrated. Okay, and for the stupidity that these people have been able to brainwash people with, makes me realize that it's far beyond human ability. Right? It's got to be like extraterrestrial endeavors.
So you don't think it's like China or Iran or the Middle East or anything like that?
Think so.
How about the government doing something? Since they're so laxed about it and saying nobody's in harm.
Well, yeah, when they put as soon as they try and cover something up, then it makes me think that they're part of it. Well, yeah. So I guess it's a double-sided question when you say, well, you don't think it's another government or our government. Well, absolutely. I think that they've been infiltrated into our government. I think they've been embedded in all these other governments. I think that these people, I think that there's a lot of, and I'm not going to give out names, but there's a lot of people that I think are not actual human beings. Okay, we all think they are. They look like they are. They talk like they are. But for these people to do the things that they're able to do with the intelligence levels that they show, it would be impossible in my mind. So go ahead.
So you think it's other worlds then?
Yes.
That's your gut for the drones.
Yes.
Okay. You know what? I can't argue with you.
But
I can't.
But I do agree that it's our government. See the reason why is because everything's becoming unveiled. Okay. This whole extraterrestrial thing has been suppressed
for years.
Since what, the 50s? I don't even know how long.
Since that one went down, and they said, they always came up with something. Project Blue Book always came up with something. Mm-hmm. Oh, it was a weather balloon. Oh, it was swamp gas, they said for one of them. They always had something, and that Project Blue Book was first originally done. They sent out Dr. Hynek to do the investigating on it. And he kind of went with, and then as he went on doing this, he started to realize, wait a minute, this is not the way it should be. And he came out, and then they got rid of him and Project Blue Book. So, I mean, they employed him to debunk this stuff to the public. And after a while, the evidence was so overwhelming, because I'd seen interviews with his kid, watched documentaries on him. It was just too much for him. He says, I can't, with a full conscience, come to the American people and tell them, no, that was swamp gas that you were seeing in the sky, or that was a weather balloon. All the stuff they came up with. The evidence was overwhelming. And you know what? You got all these things flying around now. Now, can you imagine these drones coming around September 12th, 13th, 2001? Can you imagine what the government would have did? Especially flying over New York right after 9/11. And now here we are so many years later, and they're just letting them fly off. This has been going on for 29 days, I think, Don, that these things are out every night. I mean, the internet's filled with videos of people taking them in the news. And they're loud. Someone said, well, I don't think... There was a gentleman I watched on the news last night says, well, I don't think they're from another world because you could hear the propulsion. I said, well, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're not. They think just because they're from another world, you wouldn't hear the engines, but that's a dumb idea, I think. So, but it's been going on. So I don't think what you're saying is crazy. I think what you're saying is plausible, absolutely plausible. And if it came out that something really came of that and you were right, I would not be shocked. I would not be surprised at all.
Yeah, I mean, right now, I don't think anything's unbelievable. Um, I've seen a lot of stuff that I would never talk to people about because people just say this guy's completely nuts, which is fine. I don't really give a shit. But I've seen things that a lot of people would never in a million years believe. So I don't even tell the stories, But it's where I'm going is a lot of stuff that were made not to believe. Okay, is very believable and is real. Okay, and so I think is when people open up, they open up a little bit. When you get a little bit more spiritual, when you get a little bit more in tune with what you're capable of and what others are capable of and what the world's capable of, you realize that there's a lot of things that most people won't believe that are very possible.
Well, yeah, because they've just been inundated constantly with it's this, it's that, and they think, well, there's no way it can't be.
Well,
can't be from out of this world.
It's
no.
agreement. It's agreement. So agreement is reality is nothing more than agreement. So what's real to you is what people agree on, right? And what the vast majority of people agree on is the ultimate reality. So if there's 100 people in a room and 99 of them say this, that's a cat, and then it's a cat. And if you come in and say that's not a cat, it's a horse, right? Okay, you're deemed as nuts, and everybody else is sane. Theirs is reality. You're insane. Yours is not reality. Okay, where realistically, people have been brainwashed. People have been manipulated. People have been hypnotized. People really believe things that everyone else agrees on, and but it's got a lot to do with your capabilities too. And I don't want to get off on a tangent here, but the reason why we're all limited in our capabilities is because we all seek for other people's validation. Okay, and if you were to tell me something that nobody else would believe, 99.9% of the people would be like, Sal, you're full of shit, right? If you said, you know what, I could snap my fingers and I could be in Cancun with a margarita in my hand and a naked, beautiful Spanish woman next to me. If I snap my fingers, I could be there in an instant. And I'd be like, most people would be like, that's you're full of shit. You're out of your mind. Well, the reason why you're not able to do that is because, number one, that we're so embedded in this agreement thing. We're so embedded in what is reality, what we all think is reality, that we don't really realize that the only one that needs to validate our own thoughts is us, right? But once you start understanding that you're the one that validates your thoughts and who gives a fuck what anybody else thinks, if you can get yourself to that point, which almost nobody can get to that point because this whole world is full of invalidation from anything that's beyond what you think is logical or is reality. Okay, it takes away your ability. Okay, because you have to have 100,000% confidence that you can do that. You have to know that you can do that in order to do that, and all it takes is one speck of invalidation, and all of a sudden you're not capable of doing that. I don't know if that resonates with you, but it's really what it boils down to.
No, I understand. There's also, the whole out of this world type thing. There's also reports that every time they try to track them with any device, that device loses its power immediately, drains the batteries. So something's up with that. I'm just not sure what it is. And do you think it's the government is kind of thinking that maybe this is from somewhere else, so we're just going to downplay it by saying there's no harm to the American people, and they just don't have a good excuse like they normally do to try to convince the people that it's them doing a military thing or something, because that's what they always tried to do in the past. Oh no, over Area 51. This no, we have that testing place there. We were just testing some new technology that we can't talk about. So I wonder if the government is just saying, hey, there's no harm to the people, no one's in danger, but we just don't know what it is yet. Do you think that could be it?
I mean, anything could be anything, right? I mean, it could be. You could put any spin on it. You could say, okay, well, maybe it's Elon Musk put something over there to make sure that the Trump headquarters stays safe. All right. You could throw any spin you wanted on it. That they're looking to figure out how to compromise the Trump area. You're saying it's over Trump area?
It has been flying over the golf course and everything, and Trump's been saying that he thinks they should be shot down immediately.
Absolutely. So I'll be honest with you. I mean, I don't know that you could shoot it down. I mean, I don't know if it's possible. Maybe.
Well, they said it's because it's so big, it would danger people. So, but I'm thinking, why not wait because they're coming from the ocean. That's where they're coming from, and that's where they retreat to. How they can't follow them is beyond me. I'm sure they can, but they're just not saying anything. But you could easily shoot that thing down over the water and then go retrieve it. I understand that they can't shoot it down over, a population of people and stuff, because if that thing's as big as a small SUV, some people have said they've seen them as big as a school bus.
What are those planes? What is it, F8s? Send some F8s in there and clean them things out,
That's what I'm thinking, but they're not doing it. But then again, they didn't shoot down the spy balloon for a long time either.
Yeah, I don't
know. But that's the hot topic right now is no one knows. Anytime you put on any news or the TV now, that's one of the first things that comes up. Mm-hmm. And I can't believe 2024, soon to be 2025, they were talking about things flying around over states for the last month that nobody knows who they are, and the government's just letting it happen. Mm. That's what I don't understand. That's what I can't believe, that they're just letting this happen. But there is a part of me that thinks maybe they're doing something too, and they don't want to talk about it.
It could be, I don't really know. I don't really know, how would you know unless you know? But my theory on all of this stuff is there's other forms of life that have been manipulating mankind. And I think that, you look at a lot of these, this is going to sound off, but you look at a lot of these weirdos that have been in, the last 3 years of modern politics, okay? And you look at these people and they don't even look like people. They don't even look real, okay? Like the personality, right? The traits, they're just out of their fucking minds. These people look all fucked up. What's coming out of their mouth makes no sense, but yet people clap like, oh yeah, I'm going to shit my pants. Yeah, we love you. Oh, you're the best.
You mean like people going to see Joe?
Yeah. Or, or the guy that was going to be the vice president, Waltz, right? Mm. Yeah, I just burnt down Minneapolis. Can I get a, yeah, we love you. Like who, like, I don't understand. Like like a human being couldn't get two people to clap and say, you're the fucking best. You just destroyed a whole city single-handedly. Like, how do you manipulate people by just being a dumb shit? I mean, you'd have to be some kind of extraterrestrial. You can't, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but it's just not possible.
No, I do. It's something that we can't fathom because, well, first of all, I think a lot of those people are just very weak-minded, too. They can't think for themselves. They can't do a deduction of facts in their head. So they're just weak. They believe whatever people tell them. Mm-hmm. And there are people that if the government tells you something, well, it's the government. They have our best interest at heart. Of course it's true. And the majority of smart people will say it's not true. But I like what you're bringing up about this manipulation and all this other stuff. I think we should do a whole show based on that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I really do. Yeah. And it'll be definitely far out, and a lot of people probably won't agree with it, but there are some strange things going on that have been going on. I would love to spend the whole show just talking about it and trying to figure out, like, hear what you have to say. Now, talking to you outside of the show, I have a pretty good idea how you think. And my thought process is very similar to yours, Don. I know we've discussed this before. I even think we discussed it on a show that was never published. But my thought process is very similar to yours. And I think we need a whole show to discuss this because there's just too much strange stuff going on, too much stuff being reported now, and the evidence is now overwhelming that's coming out. So I agree.
I agree with what you're saying. I think that we do think a very similar level. I think how it comes out of your mouth is much more polished because I really don't give a shit. And if I offend people, perfect. I did my job. Like, if you don't believe me, cool. Like, you think I'm an idiot, perfect. I don't care. I really don't care what anybody thinks of me. What my whole goal is to get people to kind of open up and think a little bit differently. And if we all think just a little bit differently, we're going to get a little differently. And if we get a little differently, hopefully, and we're seeking for betterment, we're going to get better than what we have currently. And I think that that's really what this life is all about, is seeking out betterment, getting better on a daily basis, thinking a little bit differently, getting outside of the box, okay? And be around people that don't necessarily agree with you, and that's okay. But get them to open you up. But if somebody says, "Oh no, you're saying all this," but I think Tim Walz would have been the best vice president there ever was. Okay, I'd say, okay, well then tell me why. Tell me why. And if the guy could come up with some logical shit, I'd be like, "Yeah, you know what? You're right." But what's he gonna say? Like, if you could come up with something, that's great. But so I'm willing to listen to somebody that doesn't agree with me totally, right?
Yeah, they usually can't come up with something.
But what I'm looking for is a higher level of thought, right? I'm not looking for somebody that their thought process is so minuscule that they can't even get up to logic, right? I'm looking for somebody that defies logic, that goes beyond logic, that comes up with something that nobody else comes up with to get you thinking a little bit differently. Not somebody that says, yeah, Joe Biden is the smartest man in the world, and
he's
why
proven
is that?
he's proven that's not true almost every day of his.
I gotta show something. I had this on my phone. I gotta show it. I don't know if you can see it, but I got this, and I thought it was fucking hilarious. So let me see if you can see it. Let's see if we can get it on there. Okay.
Oh, I seen that. Yeah.
So Bidenomics.
Yeah.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
There we go. You pay taxes. You read it.
You pay taxes. I send it to Ukraine. They send it back to Hunter. Hunter gives it to me, and he pardons Hunter. You know what? That's not that far off. I mean, here's a guy, Hunter, who was making $80,000 a month. $80,000 a month. What the heck was he doing? What's his job? What did he do?
Prostitutes and cocaine. That's what he was doing.
Well, he left some in the White House. Let's not forget.
Yeah,
supposedly they have no idea where they came from.
Yeah,
really?
Yeah. So
no clue.
They probably got rid of the evidence by snorting at those idiots. But anyways.
Well, that's everything that picture said. I believe. I think it's true.
So as funny as it is if you love the Hunter or Joe Biden or whatever, you think it's condescending, but it's true to life. It's accurate. That's what makes it so funny, So, yeah, I think this has been a great show, Sal. And
I do too.
Yeah, appreciate you coming out on Saturday and getting this thing out here. We weren't able to get something out during the week because we were both down for the count. So hopefully,
and go Army. I know they're playing now. I don't know what the score is, but Army-Navy game. I'm saying go Army. So
all right, let's do it.
But it's been a great show, and we'll talk and maybe have some different topics next time.
Yeah, so
I like to dive deeper into what we were talking about.
Yeah,
sure.
that sounds wonderful. So we're gonna be on for Tuesday or 6:30. I'm gonna be out in Florida, so I'll be on my iPad, so I might be a little fucked up, but
so hopefully
I won't destroy the show. And everybody have a wonderful weekend, and thank you for tuning in to the Don Handston Show. Straight up, no bullshit.
Thank you for tuning in to the straight up, no bullshit, The Don Handston Show. We hope we enlightened you and expanded your perspectives with our bold and honest discussions about what might be holding you back from being your genuine self. And with a simple click to subscribe, we'll invite you back to the next episode. If you want to know more, go to straightupnobullshit.com. We'll see you next time.